Is 8 gig of VRAM a relic of the past or the unsung hero of your next GPU? Buckle up, because we're about to unravel the truth behind this hotly debated spec, and trust me, it's not what you might expect. Let's set the stage. VRAM, or video RAM, is the lifeblood of your graphics card. It's where textures, frames, and all that juicy graphical data live while your GPU works its magic. More VRAM sounds like more power, right? Bigger numbers, better performance. Simple math. But here's where it gets messy. In 2023, with games pushing 4K resolutions and content creation demanding more than ever, 8GB VRAM feels like it's teetering on the edge. Some say it's dead in the water. Others, like me, are here to argue it's still got fight left in it. So what's the real story? Let's dig in. Picture this. You're firing up a AAA game, cranking the settings to ultra, chasing that 4K dream. Your RTX 4060 hums along with its 8GB VRAM, and suddenly, your monitoring software blinks red. VRAM usage spikes past 8 gigas, hitting 10, even 12 gigabytes. Panic sets in. Frame rates wobble. Is this the end? Not quite. I've been there, testing the RTX 4060 myself, and here's the kicker. Those dips? Barely noticeable. We're talking a stutter here, a hiccup there, nothing that's tossing you out of the immersion. Why? Modern GPUs are clever. When VRAM maxes out, they lean on your system RAM. Sure, it's slower, nowhere near the blistering speed of dedicated VRAM, but in a pinch, it gets the job done. For most gamers, that 5% performance hit is a shrug, not a deal breaker. And here's where the data backs me up. Pull up the Steam hardware survey, and what do you see? Cards with 8GB VRAM dominate the charts. They're the workhorses of the gaming world, powering millions of rigs. If 8GB were truly obsolete, would it still be the king of popularity? I don't think so. It's not just about raw specs, it's about real-world use. Take tech like NVIDIA's DLSS or AMD's FSR. These upscaling wizards render at lower resolutions than sharpen the image, slashing VRAM demands. I've seen it in action. A game that chokes on 8GB at native 4K suddenly purrs like a kitten with DLSS flipped on. It's not a crutch, it's a game changer. But let's pivot to the creators out there. If you're editing video, 8GB VRAM might sound like a tightrope walk. I've pushed the RTX 4060 through 4K video edits. Think 10-bit 422 log footage, heavy color grading, effects stacked on top. Does it flinch? Nope. Previews stay smooth, exports hum along, all within that 8GB ceiling. I've graded footage from my own shoots, log files that make lesser cards sweat, and the 4060 doesn't even blink. For video editors, 8GB isn't just viable, it's a sweet spot. Now, hold up. Before you crown 8GB the champion, there's a flip side. Step into 3D rendering, and the cracks start to show. Fire up Blender or D5 Render with a complex scene, say a photorealistic architectural model, and 8GB feels like a straitjacket. Modern render engines list 8GB as the bare minimum, but let's be real. Minimum specs are where dreams go to limp. I've watched VRAM usage balloon past 12GB on intricate projects, forcing pros to eyeball cards like the RTX 3060 with its beefy 12GB pool. If 3D's your game, 8GB isn't dead, it's just not invited to the party. So why is 8GB still everywhere? Money, plain and simple. The RTX 4060 sits pretty at under $300, or around 7 million VND if you're hunting on Vietnamese marketplaces like Shopee. Compare that to the RTX 4070 with 12GB, clocking in at 13 million VN or more, and the math gets brutal. For budget builders, 8GB isn't a choice, it's the choice. Sure, you could side-eye AMD's Radeon lineup, but let's be honest, the driver quirks and ecosystem trade-offs scare off plenty of NVIDIA loyalists. I've toyed with switching teams myself, but the stability of Team Green keeps me anchored. Looking ahead, the future's a wild card. AI-driven tech like frame generation, think DLSS 3, has folks whispering about soaring VRAM needs. But here's a twist. I've tested these features, and they often eat less VRAM than native rendering. NVIDIA's own data backs this up. Lower base resolutions offset the AI overhead. If anything, these innovations might keep 8GB relevant longer than we think. Still, I'll level with you. 5 years from now, 8GB could feel quaint. Future-proofing's a gamble, and 12GB might be the safer bet if you're dreaming big. Here's where I get real with you. I think the VRAM obsession misses the forest for the trees. Numbers dazzle, but performance matters. I've gamed and edited on 8GB rigs for months. Rarely have I cursed the spec sheet. It's about your use case. Casual gamer? 4K video editor, you're golden. 3D artist or 8K raw video guru? Look elsewhere. Too many folks fixate on stats they'll never push, chasing bragging rights over practicality. And let's talk NVIDIA for a sec. Their pricing? It's a masterclass in cornering the market. The 4060's affordability isn't generosity, it's strategy. The 4070's price jump isn't an accident. It's a nudge to keep 8 GB as the default for the masses. Rumor has it the RTX 5060 might stick with 8 GB too. Meanwhile, the 5070's slated for 12 GB at a wallet-busting 27 million VND. I'd bet on the 4070 Ti Super over that any day. Better value, same VRAM, less hype tax. NVIDIA's not dumb. They're banking on clearing out the 4000 series before the 5000 settle in. Call it a hustle if you want, but it's economics, not a conspiracy. So where does this leave us? 8 GB VRAM isn't flawless. It's a compromise with a pulse. It powers the majority, fits the budget, and shrugs off most modern challenges. Sure, it's got limits, but for every cry of, "it's not enough," there's a rig out there proving it's plenty. Me, I'm still rocking my 4060, gaming at 4K, editing without a hitch. It's not about having the fattest specs, it's about knowing what you need and making it work. Next time you're GPU shopping, don't sleep on 8 GB. It's not the flashiest contender, but it's a scrappy survivor. Whether it's right for you, that's your call, your workflow, your wallet, your rules.
If you enjoy this video, click like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.